What's up, you guys? Coming back at y'all with another video. This time we're going to be looking at 10 just amazing, beautiful cards that the artwork, incredibly detailed, or just very appealing to the eye for color reasons or just a different art style, whether it's abstract or more photorealistic. There's a ton of awesome works of art in this game, and it's only gotten better as time has gone on. Some people don't like the newer artwork. It's more computer generated, and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like visible brush strokes and something that looks a little bit more like it was done by hand as opposed to edited. You just have to appreciate some good quality artwork that we have had over the course of Magic's history. So let's start off this list here. It's not a top 10 list, just 10 beautiful works of art. The first one we have here is the John Avon Unhinged Forest. And the reason why people just love John Avon is because the cards are very smooth and sharp. You get the color that the land is supposed to represent. If you look at the unhinged lands, and if you look at the unstable lands that we're about to get here, all of them do something really well, and that is just show off the color that they're supposed to represent. You know, forest, you have green here, but the cool thing about this forest was that you had John Avon just take advantage of the vertical card space that you get with the full arts. Not to say that there aren't a lot of full arts that take advantage of the card space, but this takes advantage of the vertical space because you have the trees that, you know, they're straight up and down. Just gives you the impression that, you know, the trees are tall, relatively straight, and it just looks great. It really helps show you how much vertical space there is on the card, and the beautiful thing is that you have this little branch or this little tree right in the middle, have almost like a ray of sunshine just right on that little tree there in the center. And it kind of brings the whole thing together, but you have these very noticeable, very iconic works of art by John Avon. It's why so many people are looking for the unhinged lands or the unstable lands or just anything by John Avon. If it's a land, it's typically going to be pretty decent. And then we have another forest, but only this time it's on a land that you really wish would have been full art. And I've said this multiple times about Return to Ravnica, about the original Ravnica block. If they actually made full arts, this would be the set to do it with, which is kind of funny because, yes, I know Zendikar is all about mana, it's all about lands and exploration. It's why they made it the full art land cycle. Basic land cycle for that plane was because it's all about lands and exploration. Well, Ravnica as a plane is just beautiful. You have the city, the architecture, and this forest by Stefan Martinier. I hope I say his name right. I'm probably going to mispronounce and butcher the name of all the different artists on this list, except for the ones that are the most well known, of course. But this forest, well, it's not really forest, and that's the cool thing about Ravnica, was that you had forest, you had plains that weren't really plains. They were just, different parts of the city that utilized white mana, and you had mountains that weren't really mountains. They were still part of the city, and the same thing with island, and the same thing here with the forest. You had some natural aspects to the forest here, like you have the tree coming out of the top of that structure there. But the cool thing about this land and the cool thing about Stefan Martinieri's art for Ravnica was the fact that you had just this epic distance to the work here, and you had it seems like whatever canvas he used to illustrate this, he must have used every single inch possible and put so much detail into that inch, and it's incredible. And I love artwork where the artist doesn't really half-ass it and it looks very detailed, and there's a lot of architecture, and this is far from the only beautiful land from the Ravnica basic land cycle, as well as the Return to Ravnica brand new ones. There are a lot of awesome lands all around Ravnica, and they're just so beautiful, and this one is really just one of my favorites, though. Definitely a plane that we should have received full arts for by now. And then we have From Morningtide, Primal Beyond by Mark Teaton. And the thing I love about Lorwyn as a block was the fact that it was all about nature, and you had just all this different color, and this is one of those lands that, first of all, it's for elemental, so it has something to do with just nature and all those things combined, and just to see all these different colors and how crisp the artwork, how it looks to the eye. Now, this is far from the only land from Morningtide or just the Lorwyn block in general that just looks like this. It's very crisp, very detailed. You have the details in the tree trunks, and that's just beautiful right there. And you have the water, and you have all these different colors, and very vibrant. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite lands. The actual card itself isn't that good, it's just for elementals, but very beautiful card. Then we have a Lifelink by Therese Nielsen. I don't know what it is, but to me, it really strikes me as Jim Morrison, if Jim Morrison was part lion. As you can see, there's also a lion there, and as you know, in Magic, the multiverse, cat creatures have some sort of sub-theme of Lifelink, and it makes sense. But the artwork here, it's very cool. It's sort of like the Vitruvian Man from Leonardo da Vinci. Therese Nielsen is well known for having all these different circles and different shapes and different lines and all these weird little scribbles and stuff in her artwork. It's very cool, very detailed, very abstract, and she really helps to differentiate and separate herself from the rest of the artists in Magic the Gathering. She does it very well, and this is just one of many cards that she is well known for doing. Just a brilliant card. Absolutely love the artwork. Then we have Baneslayer Antal from Greg Staples. Just the night sky and the glow of this angel. Angels are just beings, just manifestations of mana, and this is just a glowing, beautiful angel here. And the cool thing about it is just I guess you could say, the gown that the angel is wearing, and has all these different ruffles and all these different angles there. There's so much detail. It's not unique to see beautiful angels in this game. You see just a ton of awesome artwork. You just have like all this detail associated with the character itself. In addition, the backdrop is just beautiful. We typically see angels associated with sunshine. This is more or less just a starry nightscape, and I absolutely love it. Then we have Twilight Shepherd from Jason Chan, yet another angel, and this one is more gothic. The color here is just black and white. It's pretty simple. Sometimes beauty is more or less just the overall feel of the card, and it is very gothic. It's, you know, sort of the unknown aspect of the card is that you can't see the angel's face. And black and white is very good at sort of try to illustrate the unknown and the mystery of a certain character or creature. And really, Twilight Shepherd, very mysterious, very spooky and gothic, but yet there's something beautiful and sad about her. Just a beautiful work of art. And then we have Time Reversal by Howard Lyon. And very similar to why I love Primal Beyond, you had all these different colors here. This is relatively blue, and you have the orange reddish color of the planet to the top left, and you have like the green planet that's sort of exploding within itself on the top right. And all of this is just sort of swirling around this mage at the top of the steps. It's all in space, and it's very cool, very awesome. I absolutely love it whenever you can apply just elements of space and time into artwork. It's always something I love. Just making use of all these different planets that are just orbiting around this character. You just have like a few little stars there sparkling in the background. Just amazing. Absolutely love this artwork. Not something a whole lot of people talk about, but it's very simple, yet something I absolutely love. And then we have Enter the Infinite, yet another Therese Nielsen. The card itself is very well known in Commander for shutting down games, but really, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that I love about Therese Nielsen is the fact that there's so much going on in her art, and she's evolved so much as an artist since the days of Alliances when, you know, she did the original Force of Will artwork. This is a lot more complicated, a lot more detailed than those days, and definitely shows. You just see all these different colors, and you see blues, you see a little bit of oranges and red, purple. You just see this man's face right there, but you also see it kind of swirl off and into all these different creatures, and you see like flowers, and you see a fish, and there's just so much detail, and that's why she's one of Magic's best artists and probably the most recognizable as far as names go, as far as just the reputation. She is easily one of, if not the best artist in Magic the Gathering. It always has this sort of appeal, and you see time, and you see these different circles. Yet again, you see some circles in this work of art. You also see lines and different little doodles in the artwork. It's so brilliant, but it's very abstract, and you go for photorealism in some works of art now. You have computer-generated artwork. It's all about trying to make it look realistic, or as much as it possibly could. Therese Nielsen has never tried to be anything super realistic. It's always been about color and detail, and really, if you're able to do something like that, it's just going to take you really far. as an artist, and she's definitely great because of that. And then we have Bitter Blossom. Of course, everybody should know this card. It's super fantastic in Modern, but the artwork itself is just beautiful. Personally, as far as my interests go, as far as my taste in art goes, Rebecca Gay has to be my favorite artist in Magic the Gathering, just because to me her artwork is the most noticeable for me. It seems like whenever I look at her art, it's sort of like looking at butterfly wings. You have these different sections, and you have this like almost like a watercolor look to them, and the colors are very vibrant. They're very beautiful and very bright. Very close to Therese Nielsen when it comes to just the color and detail and making the most out of every inch you possibly can. Rebecca Gay is easily just as well known as Therese Nielsen is in this game for her artwork. It's just brilliant. She's still responsible for making beautiful lands now. She's just done a ton of artwork, and she's been around for a while too. And if she makes more artwork like this, she's going to stay around for an even longer time. She's just an amazing artist. My personal favorite. I know so many people love her as an artist too. Just brilliant. And then we have Gift of Orrhea by Johannes Voss. I don't know how to say that name, but the artwork, it speaks for itself. It's just beautiful. With Orrhea, you have black and white, very boring, very obviously you have the contrast aspect of black and white, but when you introduce color like this, and you have a backdrop that is very dull, very black and whitish, it's always going to stand out. It's always going to look spectacular because you have this color that looks very much like a stained glass window in a church. And that's just beautiful right there. I love stained glass. I love that look. Gift of Orrhea has like the angel wings, and it's just, there's always something beautiful about angels in this game, and you see this with the actual angels, and you see this with this card. And there's another card too called Angelic Destiny, which I'll have to save for another video, but it just really goes to show just the beautiful aspect of angel wings, and there's just so much detail here. But again, just the contrast in color to sort of dull black and white that you see down there in the background, and then you just see the goldish, purple, green, bluish sort of stained glass window wings here, and they're just so bright, so beautiful. Absolutely love this artwork. Very cool. So anyway guys, that was 10 beautiful works of art in Magic the Gathering. Let me know who your favorite artist is. Let me know what your favorite work of art is. Feel free to leave any suggestions. I want to hear what you guys think about art and Magic the Gathering. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. Void here, signing off.